Elsewhere, according to the Debt Management Office, DMO, the value of the domestic and foreign debt of the federal government of Nigeria was 21 trillion naira as at the end of the third quarter of last year, 2019. The federal government says that it will use new foreign loans to finance the nation's infrastructure deficit, especially to complete existing projects that could improve the ease of doing business and also the welfare of families. But have previous foreign loans achieved their goals, and are they viable alternatives to external borrowing? Babajide Ogunsowo is here tonight to discuss the external borrowing plan of the government. Welcome to the News at 10.
Good evening, Millicent.
All right, it's been a while.
It is.
All right, so what's the status of the country's debt? Is also there any reason to be bothered that the government wants to, or it's been approved, borrow $22.7 billion?
I'll answer your question, but I'd like to start from a slightly different perspective. And that's because on this same day in 2014, the Malaysian airline, Flight 370, after rising, suddenly disappeared. So tonight isn't just about remembering that flight and what happened. Tonight is about the question on the lips of Nigerians, and that is, will Nigeria's rising debt suddenly disappear? And before I go into answering that, there are top 3 reasons why the debt has been rising. The first is, in the federal government's budget, the benchmark for oil was $57. That's the first reason. Right now, oil is trading at $52. The second reason is population. Population is growing, and so there are more people that need houses, health, education, security, and of course, utilities. Now, the third reason is domestic non-oil revenue is not growing at the pace at which the federal government hopes. In other words, cash from corporate income tax, VAT, and customs is not growing at the rate at which the government expects. And so those are the top 3 reasons why the government is increasing in its borrowing plans. But quickly to your question, should Nigerians be concerned? And for that, I will point you to 2 places. Now, if you look at the Quran, the Hadith, 3341, and also in the Bible, Proverbs 22, verse 7, it says, the borrower is slave to the lender. And so some people believe that even though we're out of colonialism, borrowing is neo-colonialism. In other words, borrowing makes sure, keeps us slave to the countries that we borrow from.
So perhaps the major question is, looking at the trends, have previous foreign loans, have their objectives been met?
One of the ways to look at the objectives is to look at what we like to talk about, growth, GDP growth. And if we look at foreign loans from 1963, when our foreign debt portfolio was below $100 million to what it is today, over $22 billion, is there a correlation between foreign loans and economic growth? And the answer is no. The evidence shows that the correlation between foreign growth of our loans and GDP is 0.46. So let's look at the chart of the day. And if we also look at the chart of the day, here's what you will find out. In 1999, our foreign loans, as at the end of 1999, was 2.6 trillion naira. We've seen foreign loans increase and decrease, but the fact is today, our foreign loans has grown from what it was in 1999 of 2.6 trillion naira to 7 trillion naira. In other words, or in simple terms, today our foreign debt is approximately 3 times what it was in 1999.
But can we afford not to borrow? Is there an alternative to reduce the borrowing?
We need to make more money domestically. So if there's one recommendation for the federal government, it will be invest crude oil revenue in income-generating assets and enterprises. Yes, the government in the short term has to keep borrowing domestic and foreign, but we need to remember Proverbs 22:7. The borrower is slave to the lender.
Many thanks, Babajide Ogunsowo. Thank you for your insights.
The pleasure is all mine.